Computers have come a long way since Bill Scott built his first PC in 1977. A decade earlier, the entire world watched a computer less capable than your wristwatch to fly Neil Armstrong down to the surface of the moon. Well, almost. If Neil had not had the experience of flying airplanes, it might have been another decade before we tried to do it again. It taught Bill a valuable lesson. Computers don't have to be perfect, as long as a human is standing by to make up for their little mistakes. We are about to discuss how computers have the capability of landing you to the moon, so to speak, but it's taken us 45 years to get to that point. But please keep this truism as it stands. A computer does not have to be perfect every time. It just needs to be better than the job it's replacing. Category management is a method to assist in the buying, selling, and positioning of inventory within your store. However, category management is not AI compatible. And except for providing you with a good enough estimate of what might have happened, AI tools allow you to take control of what will happen. We will go deeper into that subject in subsequent videos, but right now let's concentrate on getting your business in a position of being able to determine your own future. Category management wasn't invented. It is merely a natural progression of common sense to overcome the lack of technology throughout the 20th century. It became commonplace when customers were allowed to browse the aisles in retail stores and search for the items they wanted. Like snacks and sweets in one area and horseshoes and saddles in another, positioning inventories in common groups made sense. In a previous lesson, we talked about dynamic cluster management, which is a far better way of analyzing inventory in groups than category management. In the 1990s, category management was elevated to a college course to offset suppliers' unwillingness to recognize the universal barcode as the method of identifying items. But it's a horrible tool for accounting and always has been. The only practical reasoning for category management is to departmentalize inventory for both presentation purposes and to segregate departments in a company's general ledger system. Rather than simply assigning inventory to departments like food and drinks, an attempt to use category management as an accounting tool has helped suppliers but crippled retailers. Imagine if real estate companies just sold houses inventoried by size like big houses, medium houses, and small houses. Yes, it sounds ridiculous because it is. Every unique item of inventory in a store has its own identity, its own price, size, brand, etc. And it has its own history and profit profile. For example, Paydays and Snickers have their own price, their own flavor profile, and their own perfect price for maximum profit potential. Yet in most retail stores, they are priced the same and delivered by suppliers in cartons of 36 or 48. Who decides what to put in your stores? Your suppliers mostly. Store managers provide a small amount of input, don't they? Occasionally, on high-risk items, they might, but honestly, suppliers who service retailers within a 100-square-mile area assume all retailers are carbon copies of themselves and sell the same stuff at the same time to the same market. Not anymore. We have moved from mass markets to neighborhood markets, and each area is different. If you want to appeal to mass markets, put everything online and compete against Walmart and Jeff Bezos. Good luck with that! This is the main reason retail chains such as 7-Eleven appear to be dying from the top, and the mom and pops who know what their neighbors want control 63% of the market, where they once had 8% prior to the year 2000. In order to survive the coming decade, retailers must learn that every store is unique and must be managed as such. As a quick view into your future, here are the things AI will allow you to do. What if you never needed to buy inventory gain, maximize profits on every sale, trusted your computer to order your stock, completely eliminate most carrying cost, all while maintaining a staff of highly motivated employees? Does your computer need to be perfect? No, it just needs to be better than what you're dealing with today. Let's start with every item being a profit center. I've always said that every item in your store is a tiny little machine that generates profit, and there are too many to be managed by company personnel alone. You can observe an item's performance, but in order to manage it properly, you must have access to its history. You can never collect too much information about an item, as it could be useful in the future. Information is generally stored in records created by sales, purchases, and store audits, and accessed by using screening queries and reports. However, in an AI environment, data is like gold. If you are to survive the next decade, you are going to have lots of it. Most retailers do not possess a computer big enough and fast enough to store even a small percentage of that information. That's a problem. You may need to lease some space on another computer to store it in a secure environment. We have found that with enough data about a single product, we can predict with almost 97% accuracy how an item will perform over the coming 1 to 2 weeks. For example, in one of our customers' stores, the store has sold 5.3665 8-ounce Snickers daily over the past 90 days. You can increase the accuracy by narrowing the sample between 90 days and 30 days, spanning seasons and including promotions during the same time period in previous months. These figures, focusing on turn rates, change daily, but knowing that the store will sell 38 Snicker bars next week tells you what needs to be available in that particular store during the coming week. In another store, we can see that it sold 4.3812 Snickers per day over the past 90 days, so the need for more than 30 Snicker bars in that store is a waste of operating capital. Carrying cost of excess inventory, typically overlooked, is eating retailers' profits like a forest fire. Using the count of stock on hand and the average weekly sales figures, the computer will order no more inventory than necessary to impress the count of that item up to the computed figure and no more. Does this method create stockouts? Not nearly the number of stockouts created on fast-moving items in almost any store by letting the supplier decide what we need to order. I will repeat what I said earlier. A computer doesn't need to be 100% accurate. It simply needs to be more accurate than the job it is replacing. You should have the option of adding a small amount of safety stock if you are inclined to do so. This is one way the supplier tries to justify the delivery of twice the inventory needed to meet customer service level. Overstock causes out-of-stocks more than any other factor, and that's the truth. To make use of stored computer data, you needed an analyst. Generative AI uses information such as this to make decisions without human involvement. You can bet there is an answer as to why this product is no longer performing as it should, but over a period of 6 months, has anyone taken notice? Suppliers may still be delivering products based on previous deliveries. They cannot see what is actually occurring in the store. The delivery driver doesn't report the situation because his job is to empty his truck. As the inventory begins to grow in the coolers, your employees don't care because their job is to push it on the shelves and be sure none goes missing. Or it could be the other way around. Inventory sales are increasing and the empty spaces are being recovered by competing less profitable brands. If you have 4,000 items in your stores, your manager may be the only person that notices that overall milk sales are down because all milk is thrown into the milk category, and the issue may not be addressed for months, even years. AI can see this and fix the issue before it causes a real problem. There may be thousands of little occurrences like these and others that go unnoticed. In this case, the chances are a competing product that is less profitable is hijacking the more profitable product's sales. Either way, it's costing you money. Problems such as this were rarely caught because it took too much time for humans to read over piles of computer printouts, unless they were told to do so. And the job of doing that was assigned to highly paid data analysts, which took them away from their jobs of maintaining the computer code. AI prevents all that. You likely have twice the inventory you need to meet customer service level, which is causing clutter in your stores and eating away at your precious operating capital. Stock only what you will sell during the next delivery cycle. Clean up your stores and get rid of the clutter. Stock what your customers are buying and price it for maximum profit. Unless it's seasonal, if it's still there after 90 days, get it out of the store. Donate to a food bank and take a nice tax deduction or toss it in the bin. Category management is a terrible accounting tool and destroys your ability to store item data for analysis. If your suppliers refuse to manage their inventory using the barcodes that allow you to track item, change suppliers, or let your computer order the items and pay only for what you ordered. It's amazing to me that suppliers haven't made a serious effort to see that item-level inventory management is inevitable. And don't let carrying cost eat away all of your profits. The Small Business Administration classifies 99.9% of small businesses in America as mom and pops. 1 in 5 fail during the first year, and 45% go out of business before the 5th. We've already shown how the convenience store industry has changed dramatically over the past 25 years. 63% of all convenience stores owned and operated today are mom and pop businesses. If the convenience store market follows small business statistics, which we have no reason to believe otherwise, it suggests that convenience stores will follow suit. The industry is dying from the top down. Bad for the big guys, but an absolute bonanza of opportunities for the rest of us. Entrepreneur Magazine points that one of the big advantages mom and pops have over large retailers like Walmart is that customers generally love the people who make them possible. The more you allow technology to handle your business functions, the more time your employees have to establish the relationship between the company and the customers. The National Association of Convenience Stores, NACS, receives the majority of its support from large convenience store operators and their suppliers. With more large chains consisting of companies with excess of 500 stores closing their stores and being sold to mom and pops, I would guess that NACS is now receiving the lion's share of their financial support from suppliers. Naturally, it's to NACS' advantage to maintain the status quo when dealing with suppliers and inventory. Artificial intelligence and suppliers' refusal to change must create a problem for NACS. Convenience stores will be forced to convert from category management to a better way of controlling their inventories if they are to survive, because category management is a dead end to failure. Managing inventory by item is too expensive to control manually. Convenience stores must start utilizing computers for more than just record keeping. Since NACS is the National Association of Convenience Stores and not the National Association of Convenience Store Suppliers, you would think NACS would want to put convenience stores first. Stores will find it necessary to start paying more attention to the performance of items in their stores. Suppliers would be well advised to adopt barcodes to identify their stock rather than their privately assigned supplier IDs, even though it will make it more difficult for them to cover stockouts with substitutions. For NACS to remain successful, I would think that they will need to lower the cost of fees and membership services to attract more mom and pops. Category management needs to be used only for planograms and generalities, as it was originally intended. Artificial intelligence will make it possible for suppliers to monitor their retailers' sales in real time and completely automate the inventory replenishment process, or they can just process the retailer's computer-generated purchase orders. But if they don't make a decision soon, it might be made for them. Thank you for watching our video. We hope that it provides you with information which we believe to be critical to the convenience store industry. If you have any questions about this video or how we acquired our statistics, you may write to Bill Scott at billscott@storereport.com, and he will be happy to discuss it. Also, please consider acquiring Bill Scott's new book, Artificial Intelligence, an action that appears human on Amazon. Bill is also available for speaking engagements and will be happy to discuss appearing at any events to discuss the future of AI and how it is affecting the convenience store industry. Thank you again for watching our video.